some pass catchers. Jimmy Graham, Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins. And about the guy who goes and gets quarterbacks, DeMarcus Lawrence had a monster year for Dallas last season.
Yeah, a lot of big names that could be out there as free agents. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action and hit them over the top.
And here's another interception, the third of this first quarter. Picked off by Thomas Davis. And he will bring this one.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick six. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. Before the offense changes hands here, let's look back at the Super Bowl February 5th. What a game. I know you were there calling it offensively, though. Impressive on both sides.
It certainly was, and let's face it, if you're in Minnesota, it's cold outside, but you talk about the offenses, they heated up in a big way. And how about Nick Foles? The backup quarterback turned MVP. 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, and, of course, the big one receiving on the Philly special.
Quite a story. As you and I were talking about off air, it was just a fluid game. Not a lot of penalties, just really clean play.
Exactly the type of game the NFL needed for the audiences at home watching the game, and, of course, people in attendance. A really well-played game.
Yeah, they're going to get this one all the way out across the... First down and 10 now for the offensive group. From the gun, it's Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
It takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
This will be caught at about the 5. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A gain of 7 that time. Second goal.
Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completion.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it, cover it, tuck it away. Whatever you get after that is almost gravy. That's how a lot of these receivers are being taught now. I don't even have to stretch for this one. This is 4-down territory. They've got they're facing.
Absolutely. It's not the fourth quarter, but still, I think you can't be thinking 3 here.
No, if you do that, you might.
And that'll be hauled in by the tight end. It's Hooper for the Falcon touchdown. Austin Hooper from 3 yards out. And the Falcons cut into that lead. They'll try and run with Freeman. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup.
Well, they couldn't be happy that they were having to stop a 2-point conversion because that means they gave up a touchdown. But a little solace there. You saw some good gang tackling, stacking him up before he can get to the end zone.
We talk about offensive units putting in more 2-point period sessions in practice. Defensively, do you do the same?
Absolutely. You have to because you never know how aggressive these offenses are going to be in games nowadays.
A second quarter onside kick there that failed. Is that something that maybe they had dialed up before this game started?
It feels like it, doesn't it? That they thought they had the right situation, you know, and the right approach in going after it. Also may signal that they feel like they have the superior team, that they can try these sorts of things, and it won't come back and hurt them later.
Now Stewart. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12. Here's Newton. This one complete to Devin Funchess. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Newton finding Funchess for the Panther first down. Two minutes to go here in the first half. Back with more from Charlotte after this. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Newton gives off to Stewart. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, add that play to his resume reel because he went to the Pro Bowl last year. That's how you go to the Pro Bowl. You make plays like that, big-time penetration, and throw people for losses.
This is Stewart again. And he will be hit with a lot of force and spun down. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Here's Newton. And he gets it to Funchess complete. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, go to zone.
And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Jonathan Stewart. Panthers add on to their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Gano out to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. But before the possession switches here, I had written down that I wanted to talk about some of the awards this past season in the NFL. We know Brady was the MVP, but Todd Gurley, Offensive Player of the Year.
How about that for a bounce back? Many were questioning whether he'd had a sophomore.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Shaq Thompson here with a pick. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. I want to give a hat tip real quick, Charles, to J.J. Watt before the possession switches here. Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year, and they totaled up how much he helped raise for hurricane relief, $37 million.
Incredible. Hurricane Harvey, which really hit the Houston area in a big way, and his original goal was $200,000. So congratulations to J.J. Watt and all the people who participated. And Greg Olsen of the Panthers, Benjamin Watson of the Ravens, both tight ends, also nominated and finalists for the most prestigious award as determined by the NFL, the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award.
Six yards to go here on 2nd down. it's Newton. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And his guys have got it back in the closing stages of the first half. So the football switching hands here in just a second. And, you know, Tom Brady, just to go off on a tangent for a second, may have lost the Super Bowl. But third MVP this past season, and what he did at age 40, really something, right, Charles?
Absolutely phenomenal. Ended up beating out Todd Gurley, the running back for the Los Angeles Rams. But he would have traded it for a Super Bowl win, don't you think? How about this? The last 9 NFL MVPs to play in the Super Bowl that same season, 0-9.
Yeah.
You go all the way back to Kurt Warner in, what, 1999, where he won the double?
We were going over that stat earlier. That is hard to believe.
But he would have been the MVP had the Patriots pulled that one out.
Yeah, he still has 5 rings, though. 5 Super Bowl titles for Brady. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And the timeout comes in with 2 seconds remaining. So they can trot out the field goal unit for the try before we hit the lockers. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. And the first half, just like the end of the game, can't end with a defensive penalty. They'll have another play.
One more play, untimed. See what happens here.
And the 42-year-old veteran's kick is up and good. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good. So out come the Falcons now. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. And down to a knee. That's one way to call a play. So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down. Shift together here from the D-line. On second down, they run with Stewart. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
And now they'll take a knee here. And my partner now is speechless, and so am I. And down to a knee. Well, that's one option. The last 2 plays each lose a yard. They'll try to move forward here on 3rd and 12. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. He gets a good chunk of yards there, 8 all told, but they're still looking at a 4th down. Now, there's a reason he's called Riverboat Ron. Rivera going to leave the offense out on 4th down. Time running out here on the play clock. Now Newton. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Brooks Reed. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Following the fumble recovery, it's Ryan. Jones has it. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, there's some...
And now here is another interception. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. They keep it on the ground again to Stewart. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers out in front and in control of the football as well as we begin quarter number 4. The Panthers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. A shotgun snap for Newton. And this is going to be incomplete.
This defense could use some more of these types of plays. How about him reading it, driving on the football, and he's right there for the pass breakup.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. They snap it to Newton. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And Jones has it over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. 23 yards on the play. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. Now it's Ryan. Forced fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. They'll start the drive with a run by Stewart. And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around a training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get...
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Following the fumble recovery, Ryan. And his throw here's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Ryan. Caught by Jones. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Give them 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn them a fresh set of downs. They'll throw on first down with Ryan. This complete to Jones. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. Clock management, definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Now it's Ryan. And finding the tight end Hooper. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Another 13 yards there twice in a row, and they're on the move. Another first down as well. Here's Ryan. This will be caught just inside the 10. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Time for a break. And here we go on first and goal. They'll run here with Freeman. 5 yards, a good run there, and now second and goal. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Falcons get a bit closer.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game they're going to have done. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's the Pro Bowler Luke Kuechly that picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And it looks like the Panthers' hands team does its job. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Newton turns and hands to Stewart. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Throwing on third down, Newton. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, ball's out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. It's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A big pickup there, and without question, that should be more than enough to wrap this one up. They go back to Stewart on first. And he's going to be stopped dead in his tracks. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen...
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Devin Funchess, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Panthers add on to their lead.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Tried to roll out and make a play outside of the pocket, but couldn't get it done.
When you don't have a lot of space for your receivers to operate, and down there it's really condensed when you're snapping the ball from the 2-yard line, rolling out, you extend the play, but you don't necessarily open up better avenues for people. And on that play, there's just nowhere to go with the ball, and you end up getting sacked.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And the kick here is good. So add 3 to the total, but they're still coming up.